Hello. By now, most of you have probably heard that there has been a third fire of a Tesla Model S. For starters, excuse my voice. I am recovering from a nasty cold. Doing best I can. So anyways, there's now been 3 Tesla Model S's that have caught fire. We have the first one that was in Oklahoma, where the Model S collided with a piece of road debris that punched a 3-inch hole through the quarter-inch armor plating on the battery pack. To do that would take approximately 24 tons of force. That piece of debris got wedged underneath the car, and its own momentum and weight of the vehicle and speed is what allowed that piece of debris to punch through. Same thing would have happened with a gasoline-powered vehicle. Obviously, you wouldn't have punctured a battery pack, but you would have ripped the royal crap out of the underside of the vehicle. And if that would have struck the gas tank, you would have had either an explosion, bad leak resulting in a large massive fire. At least in that case, the owner was able to safely exit the vehicle and before the flames even started. Fire number 2, Tesla Model S, driven by a extraordinarily intoxicated individual in Mexico, plowed his Model S through a concrete wall. Through a concrete wall, and then plowed it straight into a large tree. The driver was able to walk away, and now he was traveling in speeds excess of 100 miles an hour. So for his vehicle, he had to be traveling between at least 100 and 130 miles per hour, and he crashed straight through the wall and right into that tree. Still was able to get up and sort of walk away. I think he was too drunk to actually walk, but hobble away or whatever you would say, but still uninjured. Third accident was yesterday, where reports of a Tesla Model S in, I believe it was around Nashville, Tennessee, if I'm remembering correctly. I know it was Tennessee. They stated that a Tesla Model S hit a trailer hitch or some sort of vehicle hitch that was laying in the freeway, fell off a vehicle. A lot of people call it bull. It is rather possible, although there are a few misconceptions of what a trailer hitch actually is. Some people get them confused with a receiver. The receiver hitch, you got the ball, so on and so forth. I'll be going over a few of those. Also, in that case, the individual was able to pull off the freeway, or not pull off the freeway, but pull over and safely exit the vehicle. All 3 cases, everybody walked away uninjured, and in all 3 cases, at no time did the fire reach the passenger compartment, and in all 3 cases, none of the damage was caused by the vehicle itself. It was all due to external force. The first one was unavoidable road hazard. Second one was a massively drunk individual that should probably have their license taken away and thrown in jail before he ever is allowed back on the road again. And the third one, another road hazard. There's not too many details out yet on the number 3. So let's go over something. This is a trailer ball. Bar, got your ball. This slides into what the receiver is, or also known as is actually the hitch. A lot of people confuse this with the hitch. This is not the hitch. This is the ball. This bar here slides into the hitch, and I'll show you guys. Some people don't know what this stuff looks like. So there's my truck over there. Hasn't been driven in a long time since I got a Tesla. Actually, that's a loaner, as mine's in getting a checkup. Just hit 15,000 miles on mine in 5 months, 2 weeks. So I will be showing you guys the actual receiver on my truck. I'll charge up the battery on it. So not all of them are solid. Some of these, this is usually what you'll find laying in the freeway. Not always just this, but usually. And Not all of them are solid. This is a 2-inch square solid bar. It's actually very heavy. This one's about 15, 16 pounds at least. It's a multi one. Now, you're wondering, how can that possibly damage that? Well, considering, now, I don't know if the Tesla in question on yesterday's accident in Tennessee had the air suspension or not. However, the Model S in general is a fairly low to the ground vehicle. Parked the Tesla. Let's move closer here. Parked, the Model S actually is raised up a little higher off the ground. I don't have an exact measurement. My tape measure broke and will not extend enough for me to actually measure anything. And the rest of mine are at work. Let's disconnect the camera here. It's going to get a little shaky. As you can see, even parked, not very much clearance. Now, at the very least, this is the lowest the ball would be able to sit if it did indeed fall off a vehicle. Now with this one, not all of them are triple like this. Some of them are double, have two sides. Some of them are triple. Now, if you have a triple and it landed on a couple of the balls like that, very easily hits the underside of the car. And this car is not even at its lowest point right now. And you can see it's already hitting. This is on the downslope of the nose here. That's one method. Less likely could land and stay like that. Not the most probable, as it could easily tip over. Could land like that. Could land like that. I'm sure you can see how bad that could turn out. And all it takes is hit the front of the car, tip over. Now this thing can be rolling, spinning. Remember, you're on the freeway, objects are moving at high speed. It could be bouncing. You know, all it takes is one good bounce, and there it goes. And sides could pop up. And considering how heavy those units are, even the ones that are the hollow square tube do get very heavy. Now, according to the news, which of course the news usually gets everything wrong anyways, it was a trailer hitch that fell off. Remember the ball, this is the single ball style. This is the hitch. You got it's bolted up to the frame of the vehicle. Comes around. They're capable of taking a lot of weight. It's not a small unit. Now the one on that little Nissan Cube over there, yeah, that's smaller. If you run over that with your car, I don't care what kind of car you're driving, you're in for a world of hurt. At least a blown out tire. Now if you're running over with an SUV like this, not as likely to get major damage. You got a lot more ground clearance and larger tires, but you could still suffer from a blown out tire. And depending on what the hitch came off of, could very well have rolled under, flopped around. If that trailer hitch is what hit the underside of the Model S, extensive damage. If that trailer hitch hit the underside of this Nissan Cube, the Nissan Cube would probably be totaled as well. If that trailer hitch hit the underside of whatever the heck that thing is, that would be in a world of hurt. Likewise, any other loaded or lower to the ground vehicle. Another look under the car. Alright, now showing you guys some of the height settings here. Alright, now let's see, focus. Now you have different height settings, very high, standard, and low. Most driving you're going to be under standard. Now, when you hit the freeway, the car also has the option of going into low. Low increases your mileage on a charge, gives a little better handling. You're not going to be affected by, wind as much. That's ideal, obviously, unless you're planning on hitting something in the road. So just some thoughts. Now, I will reiterate, the Tesla Model S has a 1/4 inch armor plating on the bottom of the vehicle. Once again, to reiterate, as in the first fire accident in Oklahoma, not Oklahoma, I think I said Oklahoma before, it's Oregon, a 3-inch hole was punched through the vehicle. That 3-inch hole takes 24 tons of force to punch through. That's 48,000 pounds per square. How does that work out? I can't remember. 48,000 pounds worth of force to punch through that hole through. Yet the vehicle was still able to safely bring the passenger or the driver to a stop, get them out before anything happened. And that accident was even worse because the fire department cut through the firewall. They're not supposed to do that. Just douse it with water. That fire would not have been nearly as bad as it was if they would have let the safety features of the vehicle do their job. Like I said, there's more information going to be coming in on the one in Tennessee. I'll try and do an update once I find out more on that. But keep in mind, only 3 out of 20,000 vehicles, and none of them due to the vehicle's own fault, have had a fire incident so far. On the average, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fire incidents every day in a gasoline vehicle, and many of them are much, much, much worse than what can happen. And none of these accidents on the Teslas has the fire at all penetrated into the passenger compartment. Keyword, none. Now, I don't know any vehicle that can even tell you something has gone majorly wrong and that you should get off and slow down and exit the vehicle. I'm extraordinarily impressed on Tesla's response to these incidents, and I advise anybody, before jumping to conclusions on the safety of these vehicles, to take a step back and read more than just the news headlines. As these news headlines, they're going for sensationalism, and they're trying to get their ratings. Ratings are key for the news companies, and everything is scare. Everybody's going to die. Everything needs to be recalled. And I would advise taking a step back and seeing what Tesla has to say, and not just listening to everything spewed out of the garbage mouths of all these newscasters. Anyone has questions on the Model S or anything to do with fire, let me know in the comments section. Send me an email. I'm doing the best I can. I just threw this together in the spare 15 minutes I had. And because I'm just so freaking pissed off. First thing I turn on the TV, another Tesla's caught on fire. These should be recalled. Why? The Tesla didn't burst into flames. Tesla didn't explode. Kept everybody safe, did what it was designed to do. Even if you run over that in a Ferrari, guess what? Just the damage caused by that, even if the Ferrari was still not totaled, it still cost you more than what the whole Tesla would cost you. Plus, would you have survived on a Ferrari if the fuel tank was punctured and burst into flames? I don't know. I doubt it. But the key word is, it kept all the passengers safe. Did not touch the passenger compartment. I have no problems putting my kids, my family, in a Tesla vehicle. I'm not just a Tesla fanboy. Tesla changed my mind on how cars should be for everybody. In fact, I was fairly skeptical of Tesla, especially when they were first coming out with the Roadster, due to all the broken promises originally and all the production delays. From the first day I got to test drive a Model S, that changed my mind completely on everything. And I've driven cars, I've driven everything from little Nissan Cubes, I've driven mopeds, I've driven jet aircraft, I've driven semi-trucks, buses, I've driven, what else have I driven? I've driven steam locomotives, I've driven diesel locomotives. You name it, I've driven it. I've driven the Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, the Maseratis, Aston Martins. We're working on a Rolls Royce at our shop right now, doing a new paint job on it. I've driven those. Nothing, and I will repeat, absolutely nothing can compare at all to the Tesla Model S. Not in safety, not in handling, not in performance. Sure, there are some vehicles that are overall faster or a little quicker, but it's just not the same. So I'm sorry for rambling, but it's just been one of those days. And all you hear is all this garbage being spewed, and I'm not talking just about Miss Fix the Car Woman from Fox. I'm talking about all the news networks. All of them should be put to shame. They're all bought and paid for. Every single one of them. That's it. My rant is over. I meant this to be a 4-minute video, and I think I'm going on 18 minutes here. So I'll stop it at 18. Remember, if you have questions, comments, concerns, want more information, don't hesitate to contact me. And yes, I do TV and news and magazine appearances too. And no, I'm not bought and paid for. I speak my mind